Okay, so we have collected our image, and we've done so in an ethical and responsible way by using a Creative Commons image. What we're going to do now is prepare a short video of us explaining our particular source. And the way we're going to do that is using a tool called Screencastomatic. If you go to screencastomatic.com, this tool enables you to do a screen recording of what's on your screen and record it as a video. So this works for instance, what I'm doing at the moment, doing a demonstration using my computer, and I'm using this tool to record doing that demonstration. So similarly, you're going to do the same thing with regard to your source material. And so the way you go about this is you start recording, and you may need to hit Run Java. So you do need JavaScript on your computer, which I understand that you have. And what I'm going to do now is just draw a box around the part or the area of my screen in which I want to record, which I'm doing. And then I just click on the tab to my source material, and when I'm ready to go, I can therefore start recording. So I hit Start Recording, and it gives me a countdown. So this is a primary source. It's a tomb, a wall painting that depicts the agricultural year in ancient Egypt and highlights the importance of the Nile for ancient Egyptians. When analysing this source, it's important to note that the scene is divided up into 3 sections. And these 3 sections show the seasons of the agricultural year. The first season, at the bottom of the source, depicts the planting season, which occurs after the inundation period. In this scene, we can see how the ancient Egyptians planted their crops with the use of animals to plough the ground for the seeds to be dropped into. The middle scene in the source shows the harvesting season. This occurred after the crops had grown, and from this scene we can see who is involved in harvesting the grain. Both the men and the women are shown here, and what tools they are using. Lastly, the top scene shows the storing of grain that has been harvested. This was a very important task to complete, as the Pharaoh needed to make sure that everyone in Egypt had food to eat for the coming year. As the peasants didn't own the land, they farmed the land of the Pharaoh, and the Pharaoh needed to make sure that his land had been used appropriately. And we can see this in the source as in the bottom and top scenes. There is a figure who is maybe a scribe or a noble, overseeing the planting and storing of crops throughout the year. So at this point you've finished doing your screen recording and you just hit Done. And it gives you a number of options here: publish to Screencastomatic, publish to YouTube, or publish to a video file. Now if you hit publish to YouTube, it will ask you to sign in to YouTube using your school CloudShare address, and you can do that. So it's just your christianname.surname @sidstu.catholic.edu.au, and when I click on publish to YouTube, I can give it a name. So I will call it primary source, and my group's name. So Mr. Morris, Miss Grimm, and Mr. Carragher. Okay, it's going to be an education use, and I'm going to make my video public. You can see here that it's signed into my YouTube account, so it may prompt you to sign into your YouTube account as well. And so if I hit upload, that will now upload to YouTube. So you can see there it's busily uploading, and for this sort of recording, I think you'd best be able to find a spot in the classroom or maybe outside the classroom to do your recording. Or alternatively, you could do your screen recording at home or before school in the library. And once it's fully uploaded, it gives me a hyperlink to that video. Now if I was to click on that now, it may come back with a message that it's still in the process of finalising the video on YouTube, which it probably will say in a second. And so you just need to maybe wait a couple of minutes for it to... oh, there we go. So this is a primary source. Alright, so you can see now that I've got my video ready to be shared with the rest of the world, or namely in this case my class. And what I can do using a tool called the Google URL shortener, and I'll give you a URL to go to get that. It's in the Chrome Web Store, and if you type in Google URL shortener, you will find a little extension which you can add to Chrome, and what it does is it puts a little vice-like apparatus up in your toolbar here. So the beauty of this particular tool is that when I make my video, I can make a QR code associated with this link. So if I come up here now and click on the Google URL shortener, you'll see there is a QR code. Now you might say, well, what are you going to do with the QR code? What I'm going to do with the QR code is your teachers will share with you a presentation, and this is a Google presentation, whereby you will put in your source, put in your QR code and a plaque describing the name, origin, currently displayed item, a brief description of the information provided by the source. So if I go back into my YouTube clip and I do my Google URL shortener, what I can do is this is just an image file, I can drag it over and pop it straight into that box there. And that will now hyperlink to my video. And so I've brought my QR code across, and what I also need to do is I need to provide a link to my image. So if I remove this text, remembering I go back to my image that I've sourced, I copy that URL, and I'm going to insert image by URL, and there is my image there. Now you'll recall this image is quite a large one, so when I bring it in I will have to resize it, and I'll bring that nice down to size there. So there's my image. Again, I should provide the link underneath that. Which I can do just here. And we've got our QR code to our video. So that's essentially what we need to do, other than the final part, which is adding your plaque to that particular slide. So every student will own a slide and will obviously have different sources whereby you can scan that QR code with your mobile device, listen to an analysis of that source, and read the plaque. And this is going to be our virtual Egyptian museum. Hope you find the video useful.